Hello, how's everybody doing today? This is Pastor Green. We're doing another Bible study. Today we're going to do Genesis chapter 38. If you guys would like me to come to speak at your church, or if you have any questions for me, please email me at godsohman@gmail.com. Like I said, we're going to do Genesis 38, starting in verse 1. And it came to pass at that time that Judah went down from his brethren, and turned into a certain Adamite, whose name was Hurai. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shua. And he took her, and he went into her, and she conceived, and she bore a son, and called his name And she conceived again, and bore a son, and she called his name Onan. And she yet again conceived, and bare a son, and called his name Shelah. For he and he was at Shebib, and she bare him. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. And Judah said unto Onan, Go unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up a seed unto thy brother. In Matthew 22, it talks about this verse basically, and it says, The same day came him the Sadducees, which said, There is no resurrection, and asked him, saying, Master, Moses said, If a man die having no children, his brother shall marry his wife, and raise up seed unto his brother. Now there were of 7 brethren, and the first, when he had not married his wife, deceased, and last of all the women died also. Therefore, in the resurrection, whose wife shall he be of the 7? For they all had her. It was Jewish customs that if you got married and you passed away and you didn't have any kids, then it was your brother's duty to marry your wife and have kids. And those kids would basically have your name, and it'd be like you basically had a seed. So this was the custom, and this is what's going on here in the book of Genesis. And Judah said unto Onan, Go unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. And Onan knew that his seed should not be his. And it came to pass, when he went unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest that he should give seed unto his brother. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him also. Then Judah said to Tamar his daughter-in-law, Remain a widow at thy father's house, till Selah my son is grown. For he said, Lest peradventure he die also, and his brethren did. And Tamar went and dwelt into her father's house. In the process of time the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died. And Judah was comforted, and went up to the sheepscare to Timon, he and his friends Hur the Amalite. And it was told Tamar, saying, Behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Tamar to slew his sheep. And she put her widow's garment off from her, and covered her with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in an open place which is by the way to Timoth. And she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given to him to wife. Judah promised that he would give his youngest son to Tamar, and he didn't do it, so she was pretty upset. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be a harlot, because she covered her face. And he turned unto her by the way, and said, Go to, I pray thee, let me come unto thee. For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. And she said, Wilt thou give me, that thou mayest come unto me? And he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock. And she said, Wilt thou give me a pledge till thou send it? And he said, What pledge shall I give thee? And she said, Thy signet, and thy bracelets, and thy staff that is in thy hand. And he gave it to her, and he came in to her, and she conceived by him. Then she arose, and went away, and laid by her veil from her, and put on the garments of her widowhood. And Judah seen the kid by his hand of a friend of the Amalite, to receive his pledge from the widow's hand, but he found her not. Then he asked the men of that place, saying, Where is that harlot that was opened by the wayside? And they said, There is no harlot in this place. And he returned to Judah and said, I cannot find her. And also the men of the place said that there was no harlot in this place. And Judah said, Let her take to her, lest we be shamed. Behold, I sent this kid, and that has not found her. And it came to pass about 3 months after that it was told to saying, Tamar, thy daughter-in-law, hath played the harlot, and also, behold, she is with child by whoredom. And Judah said, Bring her forth, and let her be burnt. So this girl, Tamar, basically conceived a baby with her father-in-law because he didn't give his youngest son to her. And so now he's really upset and said, we're going to basically burn my daughter-in-law because she tricked me. When she was brought forth, she said to her father-in-law, saying, by the land whose these are am I with child. And he said, discern, I pray thee, whose are these, the signet, the bracelets, and the staff. So she's saying, I'm with child by the man that gave me these things. And Judah acknowledged them, saying, she has been more righteous than I, because I gave her not to Salem my son. And he knew her again no more. So basically she said, the person that could see the baby with me gave me all these items. He promised that he would give me all these items. And Judah admitted that it was him that did it. And he said, she kept her word, she was righteous, and I didn't keep my word. So he felt kind of bad, and he said that basically, I'm not going to kill her. And it came to pass in the time of her travail that, behold, twins were in her womb. And it came to pass when she travailed that the one put out his hand, and the midwife took and bound it upon a hand of scarlet thread, saying, this came out first. So the first baby put his hand out of the womb, so he was basically considered the firstborn. So the midwife put a thread around him, that way she would know which one was born first. And it came to pass as he drew back his hand, that behold, his brother came out. And she said, how hast thou broken forth? This breach be upon thee. Therefore his name was called Perez. So the first baby put his hand out, so he was born first. He put his hand back in, and the second baby came out first. And afterward came out his brother that had the scarlet thread upon his hand, and his name was called Zerah. In the book of Deuteronomy, it basically talks about if you basically have a bastard son, they can't inherit, they can't become a king, basically. So it says, a bastard shall not enter the congregation of the Lord, even to a 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord. So he's basically saying that if a child is born, a bastard son, you have to wait 10 generations in order for him to be king. And in the book of Ruth, we talk about the generations of Perez. I remember Perez was the second one born. His brother was born first, but he came out. And so these are the generations of Perez. So you have Perez, who begot Hezron, and Hezron begot Ram, and Ram begot Abdadab, and Abdadab begot Nahshon, and Nahshon begot Solomon, and Solomon begot Boaz, and Boaz begot Obed, and Obed begot Jesse, and Jesse begot David. So the line of Perez, David is the 10th generation, so nobody before that is allowed to be king until David. He's the 10th generation. So guys, I appreciate you guys following me on this. Like I said, if you have any questions or you want me to come speak at your church, you can always email me at godsohman@gmail.com. You can also make a comment below. I just appreciate you guys checking me out here. I've been sick for the past couple weeks, so I haven't really put any videos out, so I appreciate you guys waiting. So I appreciate everything you guys done for me, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.